Hi, I'm Chef Keith Snow. Welcome to my kitchen. So it's the holidays, so what are you going to do with potatoes? You're just going to make standard old mashed potatoes again? Why don't you try this? This is a very old sort of 70s dish that I think is pretty sexy, and that's twice baked potatoes. Now you hardly ever see this anymore, so we're going to take that concept and kind of raise it up a bit for the holidays. We're going to take these standard old Idaho potatoes and then we're going to stuff them with some jumbo lump crab meat. And this is the lump crab meat. This isn't sort of that cat food crab meat that you see next to the tuna fish in the grocery store. Don't buy that stuff, because if you use that in here, literally it's going to taste like cat food potatoes. You don't want that. If you're going to do it, use the jumbo lump. I'll warn you, this is a fairly expensive can of crab meat, but it's the holiday, so let's do it up right. So let me get right into the recipe. These potatoes were roasted just in this dish until they're about fork tender. You do not want to overcook them because they have to go back in the oven to heat up, and if they get too cooked, they can fall apart. So the first step is to cut them in half, and considering how this thing is going to stand up, I think I'm going to try it just like that, but before, I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom on just this one side to help it stand up. So now I cut them sort of right down the middle, like that. And there's your exposed potato, and it's cooked, but it's not well done. It's not completely done, and that's what I want, because it's going to be very difficult to get the potatoes out of here if you cook them all the way through. So now we'll take a little bowl, and we'll very carefully try to get this out of there without breaking the exterior of the potato, because that's our container. So you just want to kind of leave a little bit of potato around the outside and scrape it into the bowl. All right, I'm just about done hollowing these potatoes out, being very careful not to break them. Okay, so we'll tuck this last one in our roasting dish. Now, one thing we want to definitely do is put a little seasoning in the bottom of those potato shells. Simply just a little salt and pepper. Nothing fancy. Just a little bit of kosher salt down in there. And now we'll pay attention to our stuffing. So here's our potatoes. Try to break up any really big lumps. We don't want to take all the texture out. I don't want this really smooth. Sometimes you'll see these potatoes and they're overdone, in my opinion, when they use a piping bag and they pipe them in, and then they don't have any texture. This is a little more rustic. So the first thing, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and that is not a lot for all of these potatoes. And then I have roughly 2 tablespoons of fresh chives, and as you know, chives and potatoes are great friends. Get those in there. We'll need a little kosher salt in here. Definitely some black pepper. I like a lot of pepper, as you can see. Okay, now another ingredient to help it become a little moist, instead of using sour cream, we're going to use this beautiful Greek yogurt. I'm going to grab a clean spoon. And this is awesome stuff here. We'll take some of this. It's got a lot less fat than sour cream, if you happen to be watching for that. And then we'll take our cheese. And this is a special cheese. This is a French cheese. And this is just grated. This is called Comté, and that's C-O-M-T-E. And that's a high alpine cheese from France. Beautiful stuff. Very flavorful. We've got about a half a cup of grated cheese. Get that all in there. And now we want to mix this around, trying to distribute everything. And you notice I haven't put my jumbo lump crab in there now, because if I did that now, it's going to really break it up. So we'll wait until this is well incorporated before we add the crab. This already smells quite nice. going to need a little more of the yogurt. Want to make sure we have the right moisture content. So we'll just mix that in there. That may have been a half a cup of yogurt for the whole thing. And this is going to be very hard to have a recipe. There will be one in this video player, but play with this, because if you have less potatoes or smaller potatoes, you just have to work with it until you're satisfied with how it looks. Okay, so now I'm going to take a quick taste, make sure there's enough seasoning. That's good. Sorry about that. So here, now our jumbo lump crab. We have to open this can here. Be careful because these are very sharp. And you can see what I mean. Jumbo lump are nice big chunks like that, and that's almost as good as lobster. Really good. So let's take these. We're going to use the whole can. Just remember to buy the jumbo lump. Get this all in there. A little of the juice is fine too. And now we want to lightly sort of fold it in. They're going to break up a little bit, but we want nice chunks. Okay, we're well combined. Now we need to take this mixture and stuff it in the potatoes. And one of the funny things is, although this is all the potatoes that came out, we added ingredients, so you're generally never going to get it to fit back in, which is cool because then you can just eat it. So now we will stuff this in there. And you do not want to pack it down very tight, because then when you go to put it back in the oven and heat it up, if it's really packed in tight, you may have cold pockets. So sort of get it down in there. You can mound it up high, but you don't want to pack it down too tight. Now this is ready to go in the oven. I'll add a little pepper on top and a touch more salt. Put this in a 350-degree oven. They'll probably need 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven, to be nice and hot. So I'll put them in. And there they are, and they look beautiful. You can see they got a nice golden brown on top, and the smell of that beautiful Comté cheese with the crab meat in there, gorgeous. Give these a try this holiday season. Send me an email, let me know what you think of the recipe.
To see more tips, techniques, and videos, visit harvesteating.com. 4 seasons, 1 lifestyle.